This is the Doctor, President-elect of the High Council of Time Lords.
I am definitely a madman with a box.
Anyone for jelly, baby?
I'm the Doctor. I'm 904 years old. I'm from the planet Gallifrey in the constellation of Castabras.
Hey Who fans, and welcome to the Big Blue Box podcast. My name's Gary.
My name is Adam.
And welcome to episode 41. We've got a cool show lined up for you this week. We're going to crack on with some really good news, some interesting news items actually.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
So you guys may have heard about them in the last few days I guess, but it's going to be cool to talk through a couple of those ones. And then we're on to our review of Father's Day. Yeah, haven't seen that one in a little while.
No, I hadn't watched it in quite some time, but I watched it this afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bit sad, bit emotional, but
Yeah, I
it's a
think
good
you. Yeah, I did have to wipe away a little tear at the end. It still gets me.
still makes you a little bit. Oh,
It's a bit embarrassing in front of the workmen, but yeah, I got some people here doing some work on the house just to explain.
yes, you're having your house ripped apart and
Yeah,
rebuilt.
it kind of looks like you remember World War III, the Chris Dreckster episode, when the Houses of Parliament blows up at the end. Remember that? That just had a bit of scaffolding sticking up. Kind of looks a little bit like that.
Okay, so you're in the trenches.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. And you been up to anything else, buddy, apart from having your house destroyed?
Yeah, well, I've been up to my neck in it, but I've just finished off the Well-Mannered War, Big Finish audio, which is a Fourth Doctor one of the Gav Roberts novels that they've adapted. You know, in that box set, Volume 2 box set.
Oh yes.
And
Yep.
it's interesting. I really, like when you get to the end of something and you just don't know what to make of it.
Yes.
I really don't know what to make of it.
Okay.
It's like-
simple as that.
Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it, but it's bonkers. Yeah, I
Okay.
just don't know. I'm going to have to give it another listen. But it's part of that Damaged Goods, the Russell T Davies stories in that set as well.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. I mean, it got to the end and I really enjoyed that one. And there's a really good documentary disc on there as well with Russell talking about it. And it's just great to hear Russell talking about Doctor Who. I just find him fascinating. I love Russell T Davies.
He draws you in, doesn't he, when he's talking about
He
who?
really does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. So I've been listening to a bit of Big Finish, which is good because I've got quite a lot of backlog of Big Finish, so I'm slowly but surely getting through it. What have you been up to, mate?
Cool. Me, I've been watching some more because I watched Father's Day at the weekend.
Oh yeah.
And kind of started me off on the little Eccleston run, really. So I watched about another 3 or 4 of his episodes after Father's Day. So had a little bit of an Eccleston run. But the thing that's consumed my time for the last few days, really, is trying to find the best place to pre-order these Doctor Who Pop Funko figures.
Oh, it's funny you should say that.
Oh, okay.
Well, because I'm the same. I've
Oh.
actually pre-ordered mine from Forbidden Planet, but I've had so many issues with them recently that
Yeah,
I just was thinking of cancelling the pre-order and getting them from somewhere else because I literally have had so much trouble with them in the last couple of months. In fact, this year I've had so many problems. But so I was thinking, I mean, BBC did a 15% off recently. And what I was going to do, but I didn't get round to it because of other stuff going on, I was going to cancel my pre-orders with Forbidden Planet and get it from them.
Right.
But I didn't get around to doing it, and obviously the 15% offer is gone.
Mm-hmm.
But Zavi have got them. Who else has got them?
Yeah, so BBC Shop, Zavi, Forbidden Planet, and there's another couple of comic book shops as well. Comic book websites. I think Read Comics have got them on pre-order.
Oh, right, yeah.
And another one as well.
Because
there's
the prices tend to sort of be around about the same, don't they? They don't seem to be varying from the websites from what I've seen too much.
No, it's about a tenner, isn't it, for each?
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's also a couple of eBay stores who are taking pre-orders as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I took it a step further, actually, because you said that you were contemplating cancelling it with Forbidden Planet, and yeah, I actually did that.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, Joe, I love it. I think we've said this so many times, haven't we? I love Forbidden Planet. It's a great, especially their London superstore. It's a great store.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just their online service. I don't know. It's just really, for a company of that size. They're not a small company. They've got shops all up and down the country, haven't they? And they must take a fair whack through their website as well. But for someone of that size, their online delivery and customer service is just really bad.
Shocking. And I
Really
mean,
bad.
the thing is, I want to give them my money. That's the thing. Like you said, I love the store. I love the stuff they sell, and I've ordered so much from them over the years, and I haven't had any problems really until this year. And I remember you saying to me that you'd had problems.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
this year, I've just had so many issues with them and so many problems. And the thing is, it's not even because, you can blame the post. We all know how shocking the post could be. But actually, having gone into correspondence with them because so many parcels have gone missing or not been sent, it does turn out that it's all their end because the emails are automated. So it says they've sent you stuff,
Yeah.
when they actually haven't. And it's just, I've still got them pre-ordered with Forbidden Planet, but if I find them cheaper, I'm really seriously tempted to cancel like you. So have you actually ended up pre-ordering yours or?
No, well, I had them pre-ordered with Forbidden Planet. I didn't have them all pre-ordered.
Right.
I think I had the Tenant, the TARDIS, the Dalek, and I think the Adipose for the missus.
Oh yeah.
Because she loves those.
For the missus.
For the missus, yeah. And so I had, I'm sure I had those 4 on pre-order. And yeah, just because when it comes to a point where you've ordered, say for example, if you've ordered 10 things over the space of a few months from those guys, and more than 5 of them, so more than half of your orders have turned up, that you've had problems with them, it just alarm bells ring. So I always said from like my last problem with them that I just would leave their online stuff until their service improves and stuff like that. So, and I didn't just want to rock up on the day because I did that last week. I did that and expecting to pick up something from there and they didn't have it in stock. So I can't really rely on that either. Even though they're a big store, the London one, they do carry a lot of stock. I can't really rely on that. So yeah, I'm just shopping around at the moment for places to pre-order them from. So I'll probably do that at some point before the weekend.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to know. I'm sure some of you out there have ordered them. Let us know where you've pre-ordered it from, or if you know sort of a good pop wholesaler, because one of my Twitter / YouTube friends orders a lot of these pops. In fact, he kind of got me into them because of his brilliant YouTube videos, and he orders them from another site, and I can never remember the name of it. I was actually messaging him the other day saying, "What's that site you go to?" And because I couldn't remember, he didn't know what I was talking about because he orders from so many different places. But yeah,
Right.
If anybody out there's ordered it from a site that they know is good, let us know, because I don't want to miss. Like you, Gary, I really want to get these, and it won't surprise you to know that I ordered every single one of them. So yeah, I do want to get these, and I'll be gutted if I see them floating around after they've been released and mine haven't arrived, which I just know is going to happen. So
that'll be, yeah.
do you know what I mean? I'd just be seeing that they're out and sitting there waiting like I did with the last batch of things I ordered, that I got 6 weeks after they got released, just fuming because I do reviews as well.
Yeah,
So
cool.
obviously, like, I was thinking by the time I got this stuff, absolutely no point doing a YouTube review of it. Do you know what I mean? There's already 1,000 out there, and I'd lost interest in, so yeah, I'd like to get them when they come out if possible.
Cool. Speaking of, just before we get on to the news, you'll probably like this as well, Adam, because you're into you like your blind bags, don't you?
Oh, I do, yeah.
There is a company that will send you there's a company called popinabox.co.uk.
Oh, I've heard of it, yeah.
Heard of it, yeah? So every month you'll get a mystery Pop Funko figure.
Yes, it does look really good. I know somebody that's subscribed to it. It does look good. I'll tell you, the only reason I haven't gone for this, because it is so up my street, is just because I am genuinely trying to cut back on my purchases, which I'm not very good at, as you know. But yeah, I have looked at it and I'm sorely tempted. Are you getting it?
I might do it just for a few months, just to see.
Do it.
Well, yeah,
It always
I'm not
makes me
sure.
feel less guilty when I talk someone else into buying things.
Yeah, because you can get somebody else to be the guinea pig.
Yeah, well, I can.
Yeah.
No, what it is I say to myself, well, Gary's done it, so I may as well. You know what I mean? It just makes, because someone else has done it, makes you feel less bad.
Yeah, you're trying to justify.
Exactly.
Yeah. I might do that then. Looks pretty cool.
Cool.
But yes, as Adam said, if you guys have pre-ordered them from somewhere other than the usual, so Amazon, Forbidden Planet, whatever, do let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should land the TARDIS.
Yes, let's get into the news.
There we go.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. First up in the news, this is awesome. 'Cause I'm a big fan of this character.
Yes, it's really good. I was trying to think of it. I can't think of it. It is good news, though. I agree. I like the character too.
It's Osgood news. It's news. Yeah. Anyway, Osgood's back, or is coming back.
She hasn't zygoned. She's back.
She's
doesn't
back.
work, does it?
She hasn't zygot. Oh man.
No, sorry.
However, is it the Osgood or is it the Zygon Osgood?
Well, this is it, and I kind of like it because I guess we're going to be thinking that throughout the whole. They're going to play on this throughout the whole episode, surely. That you're going to think, is she going to betray the Doctor at the end? Blah blah. So it's quite an interesting little take, actually. Yeah.
It is very cool, and I like that they haven't left it too long because Moffat has a habit of tying these things up like years ahead. You know what I mean? So I think it's quite cool. I've seen a lot of reaction to this on Twitter and Facebook with people saying, "Oh, it's, you know, we're not really sure about this," and blah blah. But I think it's really cool. I love that she's back. I'll be honest with you. I've got a teeny weeny little crush on Ingrid Oliver.
Yeah.
A little crush there.
There's something about her, isn't there?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it's been announced she's officially coming back, and they're going to tie up this whole thing with, because the Zygons are coming back as well.
Yeah.
So, I've no idea. Well, it hasn't been released at all about how they're going to do this or how they're going to tie it in and stuff like that. There's also been a lot of talk about, because they did this last time where they were saying that, well, when I say they, I mean just sort of general Doctor Who news feeds and blogs and stuff. A lot of people were saying that she's potentially a future companion.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Oh, I don't know, because I really do like the character of Osgood. But would I like her full time? Because I don't know. Possibly not, because I quite like her just sort of popping in now and again. A bit like Jack, you know, Captain Jack. It's really great when he's in episode, but I wouldn't want him there all the time. Do you know what I mean? So I sort of see Osgood as that. I really like the character, but I don't know if I'd want her as a full-time companion. I wouldn't mind. I do think she'd be good. But yeah, I think I prefer her as like a sort of now and again character that sort of drops in, not overused like River, but you know, one that's you look forward to seeing. You think, oh, Osgood's coming back again. You know, that sort of character. Yeah. And I love the fact she's sporting in the photo. She's sporting the Seventh Doctor's jumper, so she's going a bit further with her cosplay. Yeah. I noticed, which is cool, and she's got the question marks on the shirt. So yeah, I'm really pleased Osgood's back, and I'm really pleased the Zygons are back, because that did niggle me that they didn't tie that up in the Day of the Doctor. Did it you? I really couldn't get my head around the way it just got left hanging like that. So yeah, I'm hoping that that's the reason they're back, that they're going to tie that story up. That would be good. Yeah, I'm not too keen on the in-show cosplaying though. I will be honest. I didn't mind the Fourth Doctor's scarf. That was a nice little touch. But now she's got this jumper on and stuff. I think it's a bit too meta. I don't know. I think I'm sort of with you. I don't know. I'm really split on that. I kind of like it, but I do agree with you. It does kind of does make the Doctor's character a bit of a caricature, doesn't it? Yes. Yeah. And it's also just sort of almost promoting the brilliant cosplay line by Lavazzi or whatever they're called. So yeah, I know what you mean. It's I kind of like it, but I see where you're coming from. Sure. Yeah. So welcome back, Osgood. Yes. Welcome back. Yeah. Okay, so in other news, there's going to be a special anniversary Doctor Who event, but don't go rushing out because it's going to be held in New York, unless you live in New York, of course. And this is by BAFTA, and it's to celebrate 10 years of Doctor Who coming back. Who's going to be there? I know the Moff himself is going to be there, and
Yeah.
it says mentions Welsh cheese and wine reception, doesn't it? So
Yeah,
it's a
Capaldi
bit
will be
odd.
there. Moffat. A load of. I think it's. I've got two opinions on this one. The first one, my first view is that it's very, very good, and I love it when stuff like this happens because, it's not very often that you see a big institution like the British Academy of Film and TV that they very seldom they do these one-off bespoke events for a little, well, not so little anymore, but a little TV show from the UK. So that's very good that they've recognised the scale and how good it is and stuff like that. So that's all cool. But another part of me thinks that this is just, I think we're getting a step closer to another US produced film.
Do you?
I do, because when I've read through some of these new snippets about this, it's essentially because it's hosted by BAFTA Cymru, so that's BAFTA Wales, and they're basically bringing over a lot of the crew and production people and stuff like that. And I think it's a little bit of a forerunner. I think it's a little bit of a, okay, you guys, you're obviously very, because we've seen that we spoke about that news story. I think it was in the last show or the show before about Moffat not really being happy about a Doctor Who movie.
Yeah.
And then he kind of backpedaled a little bit, and stuff like that. So, and I know it's going to be a BBC America thing. So I know it's going to be a US thing predominantly.
You saw worried it's slipping away again. Okay.
A little bit, yeah. So
Yep.
I think that they've kind of trucked everyone over from BBC Wales to say, look, we know that you guys here in the US are very into Doctor Who and you want to get a movie done and all that stuff. However, we know how it's done. This is our thing, but let's just kind of talk. I don't know. I think it's a little bit, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 12 months, 15 months, whatever, there's an announcement to say that there's a movie
I hear you.
or something like that. That's just my feeling.
No, I feel the same. In fact, I thought a bit about, I remember one of your earlier podcasts where you're talking about, it feels a bit like sometimes that the show's slipping away
Yeah.
out of our fingers. And I was thinking that this week, actually, but because of this, and also because I've seen so many pictures on Twitter this week of David Tennant, Billy Piper, Matt Smith, Alex Kingston, all the sort of top stars, all in America and Australia, having events with fans, and all these fans getting pictures with them. And I was thinking, when are they going to do that in the UK? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
we do get conventions, we get lots of, we tend to get the classic Doctors, but when are the big stars from the new series going to do something in the UK like that? Because I was just getting so jealous of seeing like people stood in the middle of David Tennant and Billy Piper and all this, and Matt Smith and Alex Kingston, and I was just like, it's all going on in other massive countries, and obviously because that's where the money is, and I can understand, why they would jet out to these great places. But it just put me in mind of what you said on a podcast way back when you were talking about. It just feels like we're sort of being a little bit left behind, and it's it is it's everybody's show, but it is our show as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and we have no animosity at all against the US guys and the US fans. We love you guys.
Of course, yeah, but
Yeah.
I would like to see them giving something back to the British fans. Is all I'm saying.
Of course, yeah, and I do agree with you. I think the whole convention thing, I think it's done on a larger scale in America. Like,
Oh, it must be. Yeah.
the daddy of them all, the San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah.
And there's other ones as well, like WizardCon, WonderCon, MegaCon, all those ones. They attract big stars. And I think the only way this is going to be fixed is if somebody, because there's a lot of conventions here, but they attract a lot of people, but only one kind of major star. Or you
Yeah.
get like 2 headline stars, and then you have like 20 other people who are actors or whatever, but they're not quite as big as some of these main stars. So I think it's going to need a UK convention where they've got a very good headline of a load of big movie and TV stars, not just 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And I think that will kick it off. But yeah, you guys in the US, you definitely know how to do your conventions. I'll give you that. But
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, I mean, the cosplay and that's amazing. It's just brilliant.
it's awesome.
You know.
Like you say, though, it would just be nice to have this stuff, in the UK, especially because, like you say, we do it. That's what
Yeah,
we
I was
do.
going to say, it's not. Yeah, it's not a dig at any sort of fans in other countries. It's just a dig at the big stars always go to the conventions out there, and it would be nice if they did something here as well. Not instead of, as well. You know what I mean? I just think it would be good. But yeah, I don't know. It's. I don't think I just want my picture with the doctors. That's what it is. I know Peter Capaldi's done a couple of charity ones, which I think is brilliant. He's done a couple of 10th Planet events, which have been for charity causes, and done all the photo and signing sessions. So that's really great. He's very. I think he's quite involved in that sort of thing, as much as he can be, because obviously he's a busy chap. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So anyway, yeah, moving on.
So anyway, next up is some Jenna Coleman news. And you remember way back when she decided to leave, and then she didn't. So they had to rewrite the finale, didn't they? Was it the finale to series 8?
They had to rewrite the finale, and then they had to rewrite the Christmas special because she changed her mind again. Yeah.
Yes, the Christmas special. Yeah. So there's lots of rumours that even though she changed her mind and she decided to stay on and so on, that she wasn't going to be involved in series 9 after all. Which is kind of weird, because you'd think that, the whole trouble of going through a rewrite and doing all that stuff, that wouldn't be the case. But there has been a lot of rumours flying around, especially the last week, that although she has renewed her contract, she wouldn't be in series 9. However, that has now been debunked. Happy to say. So, to quote, she says, "My contract came up last year and decided that because I'd only done one series with Peter, I wanted a bit more time to explore that relationship. Also, he's the Gandalf of Doctor Who. He seems to have that mythical thing about him, and we're great buddies behind the scenes." And she goes on to say that you pick up a script and get a sniff of where things are going, but any speculation Peter and I have, the story never goes. So I think what she's saying is that she might have been a bit hasty with not renewing her contract, because she realised that after doing a series with Peter, it was really, really good.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading into it. I mean, also there's been loads of filming pictures and that. I mean, obviously she's in series 9, and I think a lot of this started because there was the read through pictures where she wasn't there, which kind of fueled the fire a bit, didn't it? It's like, where is she? But it's probably just a Jenna light episode. But yeah, I bet she's definitely in it.
Yeah, she must be.
Whether she's in it right till the end or whether she's in series 10 remains to be seen. But yeah, there's no doubt that she's in it. In fact, I've seen more filming pictures of her than I have Capaldi. I've seen, gallons of pictures of Jenna filming, and I've seen a few of Peter filming. So she's quite heavily in it.
Yeah.
And I did see a close-up of picture of Peter. There's some great pictures of Peter filming actually this week. There was a close-up one of his jumper, and I can confirm, Gary, they are holes.
Oh, they are?
Jumper. Yes, well, yeah, it was a pretty high-res picture. I did zoom in, especially because I know this is something that bugs us, keeps us awake at night.
It does.
And, yeah, they're whole. Well, I think it's a mixture, actually, just to confuse things. It's a mixture of holes and sort of sparkly things, from what I can tell. It's a very, very special jumper. And can I just say, I've seen a lot of pictures of him wearing this hoodie as well.
Yes.
And I don't like the hoodie. I'd rather have the jumper.
You're not a fan? I'm not really a fan of the hoodie, to be honest.
No.
It looks okay, but doesn't really suit his new look, I don't think.
No, not so much.
The magician thing that he thinks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
So, Jenna Coleman, definitely in series 9.
Oh, yes, she's definitely there.
Yeah.
So actually, she does look cool. There's some great pictures of her just recently, sort of looking very suited and booted, and yeah, she's definitely there. In other news, another comedian that's desperate to get a role in Doctor Who, and it's Lee Mack.
Okay.
Apparently he's a massive fan of the show, and he sort of dropped a few hints over the last few months, and then he dropped a big clanger of a hint saying that he really practically is begging for a cameo in the show because he loves it. I like Lee Mack. Can he do serious acting? I don't know, because comedians can often be very good. You always assume that they're going to ham it up. What do you reckon? Do you think he'd be good?
I'm not sure. I think he would be. The trouble is, has he done anything serious? I don't think he has.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. I don't think so, no.
Because his only real kind of TV work is his own show, Not Going Out.
Yeah,
And that
see,
was
I
a
can't
comedy.
imagine him.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine him playing anybody but himself.
Yes. So I
Do you know
think,
what I mean?
Yeah. So I think it's different to say when Frank Skinner was cast. I wasn't too bothered about that because we knew that he could do that stuff. Not that he could play it overly serious, but he didn't. I don't know. I just imagine Lee Mack to be a bit. He's a bit more slapsticky and a bit
exactly.
more clown-like. Do you know what I mean? I can't really see. He might shot. I don't know. There's nothing to be confirmed that he's going to be cast in any way. He's just got out, like you said. He's been begging the producers to be in the show. So who knows?
I think, if it was a small part or just a sort of little cameo would be fine. I just can't imagine him being a sort of, main character. But yeah, I do like him though. I do like Lee Mack.
Yeah, he's cool.
I wouldn't mind if he was in it.
Yeah, and he is a fan because he did say that when he say we've, I'm assuming he means his family. He said that we've literally sat down and watched every episode back to back from Christopher Eccleston to Capaldi.
Yes, and he's a big fan of Capaldi. I think he was quoted as saying as well.
Yes.
Mind you, we would say that if he wants to get in the programme, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. Lee Mack, but maybe.
So we'll look out for him, just in case.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mr. Mack, cool. Let's do our review, shall we?
Okay, so let's get into the review, which is this week, Father's Day.
Can't get in, hold windows and doors, okay. The older something is, the stronger it is. What else? Go and check the other doors. Move!
What's happening? What are they? What are they?
There's been an accident in time, a wound in time. They're like bacteria taking advantage.
What do you mean time? What are you jabbering on about time?
Oh, I might have known you'd argue. Jackie, I'm sick of you.
How do you know my
complaining.
name?
I haven't got
I've
time
never met
for
you
this.
in my life.
No, and you never will unless I sort this out. Now, if you don't mind, I've waited a long time to say this. Jackie Tyler, do as I say. Go and check the doors.
Yes, sir.
I should have done that ages ago.
My dad was out there.
You can mourn him later. Right now, we've got to concentrate on keeping ourselves alive.
My dad had the...
There's nothing I can do for him.
No, but he had this phone thing. I can't get it to work. I keep getting this voice.
Come here. I need you. Watson.
That's the very first phone call. Alexander Graham Bell. I don't think the telephone's going to be much use.
But someone must have called the police.
The police can't help you now. No one can. Nothing in this universe can harm those things. Time's been damaged, and they've come to sterilize the wound. By consuming everything inside.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Those pesky Reapers.
Those Reapers, they just
Yeah.
ruin the day, don't they?
Yeah.
No.
So Father's Day, mate.
Yeah.
By Paul Cornell, a good writer, and he's contributed quite a lot of stuff to Doctor Who, hasn't he? A couple of bits on telly, but a lot of the stuff he's done for sort of the novels and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I do love his TV episodes. I mean, what's the other one? Like Human Nature and Family of Blood
They
is
were
one of
cool.
my favourites. Yeah, but again by him. But yeah, Father's Day.
Back in 2005, as we know, Chris Eccleston. For some reason, this is bizarre. I was about to say music by Murray Gold, but that's that's a bit obvious, isn't it? Saying he's done everything since 2005. I don't know why I was going to say that.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll ever replace Murray. Just to give it a different feel, because he has. I mean, he's been with it ever since it came back, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think it depends on how, because I think he's changed his composition work, like with each Doctor. He's like completely changed the direction of the music. So I think if he can keep doing that, I'm not sure, but I'm sure they will at some point.
Yeah, I actually, while we're talking to Murray Gold, I do like the theme, Father's Day theme that's on the soundtrack from this episode. Obviously, it's a really nice, very sad, but really nice bit of music, isn't it?
It is nice, yeah.
Yeah.
So music by Murray Gold.
Yeah.
And right, so story for this one. This is a paradox, almost a paradox thing happening, isn't it? Where
Big time.
where so Rose and the Doctor go back to the day when her father Pete Tyler was killed.
1987, I think it was. I've
Is it
written down.
87?
Yep.
Yep.
1987. Yep.
And do you remember we couldn't remember his name?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That was yeah. So back to 87 to see when her daddy died, but she saves him causing a bit of a rift or a wound, as the Doctor says, in time. And these Reapers turn up because they're like, I guess you can think of them as like antibodies, I guess.
Yeah. I was trying to think what
Yeah.
he said at the end. Something about they're cleansing the earth or something, doesn't he?
Yeah,
So they're,
so-
they're kind of like, repairing it or whatever. I
They're
don't know.
sterilising the wound.
Sterilising,
Yeah.
that's it.
So these things turn up, and obviously because it's a rip in time, they need to repair that rip and get rid of any germs, if you like. And it's a bit of a heroic story, I guess.
It is.
Yeah, because the only way that space and time can be reversed and put back to normal is if he dies on that day, as he should do. And the only way he can do that is to jump in front of a car.
That's right, yeah. Pretty grim stuff
Yeah.
actually on paper, isn't it, when you sort of think about it?
Yeah, thus putting the universe back to normal. That's kind of the premise for the story. It's one of those simple stories, but very well written simple stories.
Yeah.
And cool. So, what did you think to the overall kind of feeling for this one? Because it kind of took it down a notch, because the other ones before that. So this was after The Long Game.
Oh yeah.
You know, and after this one we go on to The Empty Child.
Yeah.
So it's it brings it down a notch in terms of there aren't any explosions as such, there's no action scenes. It's kind of almost a somber affair.
It is, yeah. I was just thinking actually, because The Long Game is a bit of a sort of filler episode. It's not great. But I was thinking earlier, you were saying how when you watched this, you went back and watched quite a few Eccleston stories afterwards. I think there's some really great stories in his run, actually, because I thought this when I put the disc in to watch it, because on the same one, you've got this, and then The Empty Child and The Doctor's Dance. I was thinking, God, straight away, 3 absolutely brilliant stories, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I do, overall, I really enjoyed this one. I liked it at the time. It's a very emotional episode. There's no doubt about it. You're right, quite somber and downbeat compared to some of them, especially if you compare it to the Slovene story, which was sort of quite humorous. This is quite different in tone, isn't it?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because also that it all happens on Earth as well. So there's no crazy travelling through time, no alien planets, nothing like that. It's a very grounded kind of emotional story. And I really like this story from the Eccleston run. I think it's the way that they bring it down a notch and not have so much going on and just keep it relatively simple. It's more of a character story. I really like that they did that. I really like that they kind of take a step away, because thinking back to Series 1, it was still very much a case of we need to capture everybody. We need to capture long-term Who fans. We need to get new Who fans on board. It could have very easily just been an action-packed story every week for this first series, to really hit it home. So I like that they brought this one down a bit. And I thought it was really cool that we got a lot of screen time with Pete Tyler as well.
Yeah, I really like Pete Tyler. What's the actor's name? Because he's really good, actually. Sean Dingwall.
That's it.
Yeah, I think he's perfectly cast, don't you? I really sort of think he works well with Billy Piper together. There's a good connection between the two.
Yeah. And I like that there's loads of screen time, because he's really good. Because they could have easily done this as a Doctor companion story going in and out of time and just having like a small section repeat itself. But the fact that they're trapped in this church, and she spends quite a bit of time with him at the beginning of the episode as well.
Yeah.
And then they get trapped in the church while the Doctor's trying to figure it all out. And it's an emotional one as well, isn't it? Because even at the very beginning, when she turns up at their flat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or he takes her to his flat, and even those conversations there, you can tell that she's on edge the whole time. Not stress-wise, but very emotional.
Yeah.
Even just talking to her dad, where he's out of danger at that point. She saved him from being knocked down and so on. He's past it, and she doesn't realise, does she, that this has caused like this huge, wound in time.
Yeah, and
She's
the doctor's
yeah.
just glaring at her, isn't he? I mean, Chris is quite good at smouldering angry, isn't he? He does that quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's just sort of, she thinks it's all well and good, doesn't she? And they build up Pete Tyler's character quite subtly and quite well, actually, because you sort of, he's quite instantly likable, isn't he? And Rose talks about all the inventions and how he's trying to do this, now he's going to do that. So it's quite nice, actually. They're quite subtly telling you, that he's a trier, and even though he keeps failing, he keeps going, so you automatically sort of root for him a bit, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's getting his ass kicked, isn't he, by Jackie?
Oh, isn't he just? Actually, that scene where he turns up at the church and with Rose,
yeah,
and obviously she's just like, "Oh, is this blonde you've got in the car?" That whole scene is just, the three of them are brilliant, and they actually do feel like a real proper family unit, don't you think?
Yeah,
like you know what I mean. The way she's talking to him is, you just feel sorry for him, and he's so henpecked, isn't he? But Jack is such a force to be reckoned with, and poor old Rose stuck in the middle. I think it's really well written, actually. I believe in the characters. I believe they could be a proper couple and proper family.
Absolutely,
And I love Jackie Tyler, don't you?
She's cool.
I think she's great.
She's very cool, and that's what's cool about this episode. It's written in a very real world feel to it. Because they could have messed that bit up, really. They could have had this kind of falseness going on, but you can tell that like 90% of all couples and families, in this country, there's arguments all the time and nothing's perfect and stuff like that, which I think they nailed completely.
Yeah,
sometimes with TV they can go a little pretentious sometimes, and they can have this habit of being a bit to do and a little bit, a bit false almost. So I think the way that they did Pete and Jackie was spot on.
Yeah, I do. In fact, it's good how they've picked up on it, because Rose has got the sort of fairy tale image of what her family life is, and then she sort of gets to see it there and then, the reality of it, which is very, like you said, sort of true to life,
Yeah.
And it's a nice play on that, and it's good how they've done it.
Yeah, it's cool.
I love Jackie's 80s hair as well.
Oh yeah, I was going to say,
it just looks hilarious.
Yeah, I was going to come on to the look and feel. It's they've nailed like the guy suits and stuff, and the huge mobile telephone.
Oh yeah,
and the women's hair. They nailed that. That's very cool. What did you think to the Reapers?
I actually thought they were really good. I mean, I love the design of them, but watching it again today, I think they actually stand up pretty well as a visual effect. I thought they actually look pretty good. The way they sort of appear through the clouds, and even when we get long shots of them, gobbling people up. I actually thought it looked pretty decent. I expected it to look a lot more dated than it did. Let's put it that way.
Yes, I didn't think it looked too bad. Mm-hmm. Certainly, because I haven't watched this one in a while, and they certainly look better than what I remembered.
Yeah.
Some of us haven't got it on Blu-ray, so DVD for us. But yes, they do look pretty good, and I like them as monsters as well.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And I'm surprised we haven't seen them before. I'm surprised we haven't seen them since this episode, because with a lot of Doctor Who stories since this one, there's been a lot of timey-wimey, paradoxy stuff going on.
Yeah, that's true.
And because these guys are obviously very much all about that, if there's a rift in time or a tear in time, whatever, you'd expect these guys to show up.
Yeah. And I wouldn't mind if they did, because I'd love to see these guys again. Yeah.
Because obviously RTD wasn't too bad for it, but since Moffat's been on board, some of the stuff has been really, really timey-wimey and backwards and forwards and stuff. So I'm surprised they haven't popped back up. So they might do.
Actually, you're saying about the timey-wimey bit as well. It's because back then, this is sort of quite not an obvious, but it's surprising that we haven't seen this sort of done before. This sort of, the fact that I don't know, the idea when you think about it seems simple. If you know what I mean, for Doctor Who, because obviously time travel show, paradox, 2 sets of the Doctor and Rose, and all this. So it's I'm surprised that we haven't sort of seen more of that, and I'd love to see the Reapers come back. Even when we just see the shadow of them outside the church, it's quite well done, They are menacing. I think they work really, really well.
Yeah, and you can see there's real fear as well, even from the Doctor. He won't mess with them at all.
Oh yeah, well there's a classic shot, isn't there, of him looking up at the sky that often gets used, where he's looking frightened. But I do like the fact they hold off showing you the Reapers, because to begin with you just sort of get the Reapers' point of view, and then sort of kids start going missing in the playground, and there's a woman hanging the washing, I think, who meets an untimely death. So it's quite good that you don't really get to see it straight away, which sort of adds a nice bit of tension to it. And when we do see them, I don't think they disappoint. I think they look pretty good.
Yeah, and before we move on, talking about timey-wimey, if we were running this podcast back in 2005, this would be our review episode.
True, yes.
Because this was broadcast on the 14th of May.
Was it? Ah, right.
Yes, and we're recording this now on the 13th of May, but it won't go out until Friday the 15th.
Oh, wow. I hadn't realised that.
Yeah.
How cool.
So, anyway, what did you think to Chris Eccleston?
Do you know what? I thought he was really good on this. I thought he was firing on all cylinders. Yeah, I actually thought he was really good. There's only one bit where he does his silly grinny face at the beginning. I think it's when they're doing the wedding reception, he has to sort of do a laugh or something, and he's not good at that sort of thing. But yeah, I really thought he was good in it. As I say, he does angry and smouldering and that sort of thing really well. He can just do it in a look. He's just got that sort of face. I thought he was good. Do you agree? Yes,
I thought he was very good. And I liked we heard it in the clip just before we started the review, where he absolutely bellows at Jackie.
Yes.
And I love the fact that it's almost like she needs, do you know what, that's that bit there, when he shouts at her and says, go and check the doors, whatever.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
And she's like, yes, sir. It's almost like she's crying out for a man to just shout at her now and then. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Yeah, that is a great scene, actually.
Yeah, it's very cool.
He's like, I should have done that ages ago or something. Because I like that relationship between the Doctor and Jackie as well. There's sort of friction between the two of them. Yeah, that's a great little scene. I'll tell you the other bit. I'm just trying to find my note on it. Because there's a bit where he's really, really angry. Mm-hmm. And they're trapped in the church. And then Rose comes over and he says something along the lines of, he basically forces her to say sorry. Yes. He just says to her, he's like, never mind, it's done, just tell me you're sorry. That's all he wants. And it's I don't know if I'm sort of putting this across right, but it's just one of those things I think Chris's Doctor does well, because I can't imagine Capaldi saying that to Clara, because she just is too mouthy, and she would never sort of just say I'm sorry. Do you know what I mean? And it showed a sort of real different dynamic between the Doctor and Rose, or the Doctor and the companion.
Yes.
I thought that was quite interesting. It almost seems quite harsh of him as well, the way he says it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. It's almost like he's a teacher at school.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he's not belittling her, but he's just, I don't know, it's just a very, it's not something you see in the Doctor that often.
No, you're right. It does show a very different dynamic to what we've seen.
Yeah.
Especially from Matt Smith onwards.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And the Doctor's always had fairly strong companions since 2005. And Rose, she can give as good as she gets, but that one scene that you're talking about is very different to what we've seen. You seldom see the Doctor very calm like that, but also very, very sure of what's needed. So, like you say, he doesn't want to make her feel small or make her feel bad. I don't know. I'm not even sure.
He just wants her to admit that she's wrong. Almost to herself, I suppose. Yeah, it's just a sort of unusual little moment that I sort of picked up on. But I'll tell you another great moment with Chris in this, and again, really shows what a great Doctor he was actually. There's a bit where the couple that are getting married have a chat to him, and he does that speech about what does he say? I wrote all this down, but I can't find it. So street corner, 5 a.m. This is what it's all about. It's a very touching little scene, and it's really, really well done, because it shows the Doctor just sort of telling people, you do matter. You're not small, and this is what this is why I'm going to save you, sort of thing. It's almost like he's reminding himself, isn't it? Because he kind of is not giving up, but he's like, he hasn't got a plan. And then they have that chat, and he's just like, yeah, this is why I'm going to save you, because, you know, you are important. And it's a really great little scene. And I think it really shows Chris, you know, what a great Dr. Chris is, actually.
Yes, I totally agree. He is. He has moments like that through his one and only series, where in most episodes, you can pick out like a couple of these little scenes where he's just brilliant.
I've just noticed another note I made. I've just written "stupid ape!" exclamation mark.
Yeah, how can we forget that?
I don't know.
Stupid
Another
ape.
stupid ape. Yeah,
Yeah.
another great line. But yeah, you're right. Chris does have moments, doesn't he, where he has these little short, great scenes, and he does nail them. You know what I mean? He really does them well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Not much else to say on this one, I don't think. There wasn't too much else going on.
No, I mean, Pete's good. He kind of realises that he's got to sacrifice himself. And I do like the fact that the Doctor doesn't push, you know, the Doctor tries to find another way around, and he nearly succeeds until the Doctor gets eaten. That's quite shocking, isn't it, when the Doctor actually gets eaten. Lovely effect of the TARDIS here in the church. I wrote that down. I like that with the key and everything. But yeah, I think, you know, I do like the effect of the car going around as well. Like like it's sort of almost following Pete, like a Grim Reaper car, isn't it?
Oh, it's in a loop, isn't it?
Yeah, I like almost Back to the Future, like it just keeps disappearing. So
yeah.
Overall, I mean, all the notes I've made that I can't read are all positive, though. Pretty much, I haven't written anything negative actually. I've only just realised that all my notes are pretty positive on this one. And if we had been reviewing this back in 2005, like you said, my view hasn't changed on it. I really enjoyed it back then, and I really enjoyed it again. So yeah, this would be almost the same review actually. Everything I liked back then, I still like now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Before we get on to our reviews, let's jump onto Twitter and Facebook. Hold on, we're doing it the wrong way around.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you've thrown me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You've gone into a paradox loop.
Do you know what? That's what it is. So, it's me to go first.
For the scores. The scores are in. Yeah.
Scores are in. I'm going to give this an 8.
An 8?
Yes.
Right. Okay. I actually wrote 8.5.
Ooh.
But I'm going up. I'm actually going up to a 9.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm changing it. I'm going for a 9 because I just think it's a really solid episode. Well written. Yeah, I'm going to go over 9 out of 10.
That's your second highest score.
Is it?
Yes. You gave the 5 Doctors 10 out of 10.
Oh, well, yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think they're thoroughly deserved. It's a really good episode.
It is, yeah. I mean, I normally stick to what I've written, and I had written 8.5, but I think it's a great episode. I really, really like it. So yeah, I'll go for a 9.
Cool.
So what did our listeners think then? Nearly said viewers. What did our listeners think?
We had a last minute one through on Twitter from Rob Jones.
Oh, yes.
Twitter name at Mumble5557. He's put Father's Day is a brilliant episode. Love the concept and the Reapers. Definitely an episode which always springs to mind from Series 1. Love the podcast too, guys. Oh, thanks.
Oh, thanks, Mumble.
It's always nice to listen to the podcast during the week on the bus. Cheers, Rob.
Great.
Over to Facebook. Rattle through some of these because loads of you guys jumped on.
Yeah.
George Garrity. Great story from a great series. Brilliant to see a fearsome, unstoppable foe who actually killed the Doctor, in brackets.
Yeah.
As well as some great character development with the cherry on the top, the acting.
I think the acting's good. I did actually mean to say that. I think the main cast are really good in this. Even the supporting cast aren't too bad, but yeah.
He gave it 8.5.
8.5.
Yes. Who Addicts Reviews?
Hi, guys.
Matt. Great story. Really relatable to all viewers as it made us all sympathise with Rose. Also see it from the Doctor's point of view too. It tackled our morals and beliefs and actually inspired the story behind our fan film Whovians Reborn.
Ah.
And of course the Reaper films. Terrific episode. Great Doctor Who story, which I think is underrated. One of the best modern Who. Do you guys think? 9 out of 10?
9 out of 10. Cool.
Yeah. Matthew Gibson Duxbury, well-rounded episode where it gives Rose Charters a lot more development and fleshes out her backstory. And lastly, it has a cool time travel paradox subplot. 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Devin Baker. Great bit to Human and East Endustry. but not that bad. Great story. 8 out of 10.
Devin also put on mine, why haven't the Reapers returned? That's all he put. Yeah, but I agree, Devin. Yeah,
Good
why
question.
haven't
Love Joe Oliver's comment. He's just put Reapers, followed by lots of exclamation marks.
they? I know why, actually, because Joe's part of a YouTube channel called Team Drew, and they did these hilarious little shorts called the Reaper Trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why. So yeah, check out Team Drew on the Reaper Trilogy. That's hilarious.
Cool.
So the Reapers did return on YouTube.
Cool.
So that's why.
Dean Jones. One of the gems of Series 1. Fantastic idea for a story, some good humour, terrific performances, and emotionally well handled. I'd like to see Paul Cornell write for the series again.
Yeah, I would actually.
Yeah.
I'd really like to see him write again. Yeah.
9 out of 10. Ben Smith, very emotional episode that explores the effects of time travel greatly. Both Chris and Billy do amazing performances, and Pete Tyler is fantastic. 8 out of 10. Jeff Waddle, I like this one. Good story, quite simple but gripping. And how I wish the Reapers had appeared at every time gone wrong situation after that. But alas, they never came back. 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Thomas Andrew Evans, first New Who episode I ever watched, and I never stopped watching after that. It instantly hooked me. 4 out of 5, thank you very much. Greg Toby, quite an enjoyable one this. 9 out of 10. And lastly, Owen Salmons, you have to mention the legendary Reapers fan films in this.
I just did. Yeah,
which you just did.
I just did. So I'm ahead of you there in a timey-wimey way, Owen.
Yeah, in a timey-wimey paradoxy type of way.
That's it.
So that's all from me on my Facebook. What about Geeks Handbag?
Yeah, I got a few on there. I got Jace Howes. He said it's nice but lacking story. He says he thought the monster was a bit lame. He loves that its moral showing caused effect, and he does like the bit where the Doctor stepped into the TARDIS and it was just a box. Actually, I'm glad Jace mentions that, because I put that on my notes and I love that bit as well. I remember the first time I watched it thinking, what the hell's going on? So yeah, that is good. Stuart Stockwin, he's written quite a bit. He's put Father's Day is not the best of episodes in my opinion, but he still enjoys it. Episode shows what happens when you change something in the past. And he says, Paul Cornell writes it so well, believable acting. The Doctor isn't as good in this as he thought it would be. Bit boring in parts, just one you can sit back, relax, and enjoy. He's given it a 7 out of 10. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose I wouldn't call it boring. I think, like you said earlier, there's not, no explosions and lots of action, but I think it's well written. Callum Johnston, he says it's one of his favourite episodes since the revival and can't see anything wrong with it. Fantastic writing, fantastic acting, fantastic monster. I'm getting a fantastic vibe here, Callum. Everything about this episode is just fantastic.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. He's giving it a 10 out of 10.
Whoa.
Stephen McCullough, another brilliant YouTuber, by the way. Vote Saxon 07 is his YouTube channel. Fantastic. So great to have Stephen commenting. He says he loves it. One of my all-time favourite episodes. Surprising the Reapers haven't made another appearance. What with Moffat's constant timey-wimey nonsense. But this was a dark, dark story. Every time there seemed to be a ray of hope, it was extinguished. The bit where the Doctor is eaten and the TARDIS is thrown out of the universe was chilling. 9 out of 10.
Cool.
Rob Mack, he says
Hi,
he really liked this episode. Dark and sad, but great storytelling, and it got me to like Rose even more.
Mm-hmm.
Will Lloyd, it's brilliant, one of my absolute favourites. Superb acting from everyone, a brilliant script with a plot that just keeps getting better as it goes along. 10 out of 10. And finally, James Wilson, it's one of the greatest episodes of New Who and a great turning point for Rose Tyler's character development. Too bad that it came to an end in Series 2. Yeah, I kind of know what she means. Actually, I did, talking of Rose, I must just say, Billie Piper really gives a great performance in this. I don't think we really talked about Billie much, but she's really good in it, isn't she?
That's
don't
true.
you think? She really does. She's not over the top, because there's a lot of emotional acting going on in here. And like one of our commented earlier, it could have gone a bit too EastEnders. It could have gone a bit OTT. I think they got it just right. I don't think it does slip into that. So yeah.
Fair point.
Yeah. So yeah, overall pretty good scores from people there. So
some really high scores, from 10 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s.
Yeah.
Very cool. So thank you very much, guys, for jumping on to Twitter and Facebook. Always appreciated.
It is.
You jump on and give us your thoughts. So yeah, Father's Day. Some pretty good scores there.
That's it. Bring back the Reapers.
Bring back the Reapers, indeed. I think we're going to wrap there, dude.
Okay.
So, thank you very much for sticking with us for episode 41. It was great fun talking through and watching again Father's Day.
Yeah.
Really cool episode. What are we doing next week?
I've forgotten to
I've
check.
thrown you.
You have?
Carnival of Monsters.
Of course it is. Of course.
Yay.
Carnival of Monsters, yeah.
Yes. The one that we didn't do 2 weeks ago. My fault. Very sorry. So, Pertwee next week.
Yes, a bit of Pertwee.
Yes. Which I haven't seen Pertwee in a little while. I haven't stuck one of his on for, I don't know, quite a few weeks now.
Nor have I, actually. No.
So, it's be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so next week, Carnival of Monsters. We'll stick a post up on Twitter and Facebook so you can jump on and give us your thoughts and opinions on that one. Until next week, though, we're going to hit you with some trivia questions.
Yeah, I was worried you'd forgotten. I was thinking he's leaving it. He's cutting it fine, I thought. Yeah.
So, no prizes, just a bit of fun. Each week, we're going to leave you with a small trivia, a little quiz question, and then just jump on to... We're not going to put a post or a tweet out for this one. Just jump on Twitter or Facebook and tell us the answer. So... Question number 1 for this week is, in the episode Midnight, what is the waterfall made of? If you haven't watched that one in a little while, I suggest you go back and watch. So yeah, in the episode Midnight, what is the waterfall made of? So jump on Twitter and Facebook, fire us the answer, and we'll read out the correct ones next week.
I'm rubbing my chin in a thoughtful manner. What could it be?
Yeah. Until next week, jump onto the website, bigblueboxpodcast.co.uk. From there, you can jump onto Twitter and Facebook, and you can follow us, give us a like, all that jazz. So you don't miss an episode, fire up iTunes, just do a search for Big Blue Box Podcast. Give us a subscribe on there and a review. That would be awesome. Also, check out Adam's YouTube channel, The Geek's Handbag.
Yeah.
Loved your on-the-spot review of Avengers.
Oh, cheers.
I love those. They're really cool.
Yeah, I enjoy doing those. I keep waiting to get thrown out the cinema. Because I keep, you know how you're not allowed to film or take photos anywhere these days?
Yeah.
I keep waiting in the corner. You probably see beads of sweat where I'm thinking, any minute now, they're going to come over and throw me over the edge.
No, they're very cool. Check out Adam's channel. Loads of very cool videos on there.
Cheers.
Until next time, my name's Gary.
My name's Adam.
And remember, Alonzi!